Hello everyone, this is Bhavita. I am CSC AML student studying first year at Srinivasa Ramanujan Institute of Technology, Rotaripuram Village, Anantapur. Now I am here to give a video presentation on the topic of top-down approach and bottom-up approach, which are very essential in computer programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python to perform different tasks. Top down approach. A top down approach is a method of problem solving or planning that begins with a high level overview and progressively breaks it down into smaller, more detailed components. Let us know advantages of top down approach. It has clear vision and direction. Everyone understands the ultimate goal from the outset, ensuring all efforts are aligned. It helps in easier management and planning. Breaking down a complex project simplifies scheduling, budgeting, and resource allocation. It reduces time complexity, makes large, overwhelming problems easier to tackle by focusing on one layer of decomposition at a time, minimizes duplication. Since the system is designed whole from the top, redundant work between different R components is less likely. Limitations. Inflexibility. The initial high level plan can be difficult and costly to change if new requirements or problems are discovered later. It has risk of over design, can lead to analysis paralysis where too much time is spent. Inflexibility. The initial high level plan can be difficult and costly to change if new requirements or problems are discovered later. Potential to overlook details. Critical low level limitations or technical challenges might only be discovered late in the process, causing delays. Can demotivate teams. If implementers are only small, employs isolated tasks without understanding the overall context, they may feel less engaged. Bottom up approach. A bottom up approach is a strategy that starts with the lowest level components or details and gradually builds up to a complete solution. Advantages. Develop productivity. Productivity is related to employee satisfaction. If you improve their experience and make them feel involved in your decisions, in addition to offering them from the tools they need to perform their work, they'll give you the best version of themselves. Boost competitiveness and innovation. Bottom up communication facilitates the use of knowledge in the company while fostering the exchange of ideas and creativity. Two processes necessary to innovate, improve opportunities. This approach is very beneficial in talent management. It helps to evaluate and retain talent by facilitating the internal promotion of employees, identifying potential risks. Promoting this type of approach in your project will also allow you to proactively detect the obstacles that may arise in order to solve the solutions easily. Reduce conflicts. When you take into account the opinions of your employee, business climate improves and crisis situations that can become a serious are avoided or minimized. Limitations of bottom up approach. Lack of focus. Without strong central direction, efforts can become fragmented and disjointed. Scalability issues. Integrating many disparate ideas or modules, those closest to the problem, can identify and into a cohesive whole can be complex. Slower synthesis. Decision making can be time consuming. Innovation where involving large groups of people. Examples. Bottom up sensation. If you accidentally touch a hot stove, the sensory receptors in your finger send a signal directly to your brain There is no context needed. The raw data, which means pain, drives the immediate reaction. Bottom up management. Employees on the front lines identify inefficiencies or new opportunities. These ideas bubble up to leadership, shaping the company's future strategy. Now let us discuss about top down versus bottom up approach. In top down approach, the problem is broken down into smaller parts. In bottom up approach, the smaller problems are solved. Top down approach is generally used by structured programming languages such as C, COBOL, Fortran, etc. Bottom up approach is generally used with object oriented programming paradigm such as C++, Java, Python, etc. Top-down approach generally used with documentation of module and debugging code. Bottom-up approach is generally used in testing modules. It does not require communication between modules, whereas bottom-up approach requires relatively more communication between modules. Top-down approach contains redundant information, whereas bottom-up approach does not contain any redundant information. Top down approach involves decomposition approach is used here, whereas bottom up approach composition approach is used. The implementation depends on the programming language and platform, but in case of bottom up approach, data encapsulation and data hiding is implemented. When to use which? Choose top-down approach when you are facing a crisis requiring rapid action, strict regulatory compliance is necessary, or when the organization is extremely large and requires standardization to function efficiently. It is deal for run the business activities. Choose bottom up when you are in a exploration phase solving a novel. It is best suited for change the business problem or seeking to improve employee moral activities, R&D labs and creative industries where agility beats the uniformity. Applications in practice. Corporate strategy. Top down approach. A CEO mandates a 20% budget cut. All departments must align their plans to meet this fixed constraint. Product innovation. It includes bottom up approach, whereas a startup team notices a user pain point, they prototype a fix that eventually pivots the entire company direction. Software design hybrid, which means it involves both top down and bottom up approach. The architects define the API top down while developers build and test reusable libraries, which is bottom up in nature. Thank you.